You know where we are, like I always say, live, Facebook, SportsRap Radio, SportsRap Podcast is the group page, so you can get over there right now. Check us in, check in with us. Before I get into the latter part of this NBA draft stuff or this pre-draft, this NBA draft preview, I forgot in the midst to give you my Week 11 picks for the NFL. So here they are, real quick. Like I said, the schedule is already posted. You know the rules. You know how to get your picks in. Get them in. Starts tomorrow. Seattle at Houston. I am going with Seattle at home after a loss. Going with Seattle at home against Arizona. Moving into Sunday's games, I am going with the Bengals over the Washington football team. Even though Drew Brees is hurt, they are at home and they still have Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. I am going with the New Orleans Saints over the Atlanta Falcons at home. With the Saints are at home, if you will. Let's see. Pittsburgh at Jacksonville. I look for Pittsburgh to continue their undefeated season and defeat Jacksonville in Jacksonville. Let's see. What else do we have here? Having a little technical difficulties right now, so just bear with me. Next, we have New England at Houston. I like Houston at home in that game. Philadelphia at Cleveland, coming off of a tough loss. I like Philadelphia to bounce back. I like Detroit over Carolina, Tennessee over Baltimore, the Chargers over the Jets, the Dolphins over the Denver Broncos, Minnesota, I like them to beat Dallas, Green Bay over Indianapolis, KC over Las Vegas, and Monday night, closing out Week 11, I like the LA Rams over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, we move on and we get into our final portion of this preview show. And I gave you the draft order so you know where your team is drafted. Is drafting tonight. And we will, like I said, we will definitely keep you up to date on that as it goes on. But I'm sure you'll be watching along with me and my co-host as well. I want to give some free agent prospects that may be possible or the Sixers may take a look at. You got Alec Burks, Kyle Korver, Trey Burke, who they let go earlier this season. A lot of talk about DJ Augustin and Isaiah Thomas bringing up the rear in that. So we move into some mock drafts. And in these mock drafts, what I essentially did was, because I'm a Sixers fan, I basically stuck with mock drafts for the Philadelphia 76ers. And there is one name that I see that has been a little consistent or a little constant in these mock drafts, and that is one Elijah Hughes. Elijah Hughes, the small forward from Syracuse, who is, or I think would be, a good fit for them, I believe. I also think that what the newest mock in Desmond Bain would also be a good pick for them. But I'm going to give you what I got, and I'm going to give you the source where I got them from. And I am back live right now. I got through the technical difficulty. So, again, just backtracking, I did give my picks. So I don't know if I caught them all. So I'm going to run through them again since I had the technical difficulties and they were live. The NFL Week 11. You can see the schedule. I'm going with Seattle, Cincinnati, New Orleans, Pittsburgh, Houston, Philadelphia, Detroit, Tennessee, the Chargers, the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Packers, the Chiefs, and the Rams to close out Week 11. Those are my picks for, and we will give you all of those scores when we come back on Monday, the 23rd, before that Monday night game. I also just gave you 5 most prominent free agents that could be on the Sixers' radar. Danielle Miller, thanks for tuning in. Alec Burks, Kyle Korver, Trey Burke, DJ Augustin, and Isaiah Thomas. So like I mentioned, I'm going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got about 7 here. I don't know if I'm going to get through all 7, but I'm going to get through as many of them as I can for you. And like I said, I went through this as a Sixers fan, as a media member, but locally, I went with the Sixers. I didn't want to, so I didn't have enough time to go through as many mock drafts as I would like to. So I just got some mock drafts and give you just some little tidbits on what I think about some particular players for the Sixers. The first one I looked at is via Bleacher Report. At number 21, a name that I've seen floating around back and forth within the past week or so, the point guard Tyrell Terry from Stanford. I think that would be a good pick. Now, mind you, some of these guys, a lot of these guys are young, so they're like freshmen and sophomores, because we're in that one and done state now as far as college going into the NBA. So some of these names may be able to come in and help immediately. Some of them may not. I'm just giving you my little tidbits on what the other people are saying. So again, Bleacher Report, they have it Sixers taking at 21, Tyrell Terry. Initially, the first mock drafts I saw had the Sixers taking Cole Anthony, who I still think is very high on their list at number 21, which I think would be a great pick for them. So we'll see what happens with that. Just remember that name, Cole Anthony, out of the University of North Carolina. Back to this Bleacher Report. And like I said, when I mentioned to you earlier that these drafts have changed, these mock drafts have changed drastically over the last few days or so. At 34, Bleacher Report has them taking Emmanuel Quickley, the shooting guard from Kentucky. The name that I told you that is consistent with a lot of these drafts, with the second pick in the second round, which leads me to believe that there is a lot of interest there and that they might stick with him, is Elijah Hughes, okay? The 6'6" shooting guard from Syracuse University. Yeah, Danielle, I hope they can somehow get Cole Anthony too. That would be a great, great addition to the organization. At number 49 in Bleacher Report's mock, Mason Jones out of Arkansas. And number 58, Nate Horton from Houston. Like I said, some of these guys, like I said, these drafts change drastically when they come about, so we'll never know until tonight. Draft.net has the Sixers first rounder 21, Desmond Bane, 6'6" small forward from TCU. Also a name that I've been seeing floating around a lot, and I think that is also still a possibility. And like I said, the Sixers are at 21. So, they have their draft board, and these are just names that are probably on their draft board, and they have to see how things play out with picks 1 through 20 before they get to pick. There's a kid from Serbia, 7 foot, Alexius. I'm not going to pronounce his last name, but he's 7 foot center from Serbia. Again, the second pick in the second round, Elijah Hughes. Then they go C.J. Ellaby from Washington State, the 6'7" small forward shooting guard. And then Grant Rillier, the 6'1" point guard out of Charleston. DraftSite.com, back to where we started in the beginning. Tyrell Terry, Jalen Harris, from shooting guard from Nevada. Leandro Bolmaro, shooting guard from Barcelona. Cassius Winston, the point guard from Michigan State, who I also think could be a good pick for the Sixers. Then there's Yam Nader, the point guard from Tel Aviv. There's also been rumors talking that the Sixers are possibly interested in maybe making a move or somehow in free agency acquiring Patty Mills from the San Antonio Spurs. We move on to DraftTech.com. First pick in the first round, Sixers, Nico Mannion, the point guard from Arizona. Another name again, Desmond Bane, shooting guard from TCU. Another repeat, C.J. Ellaby, small forward from Washington State. And Fali Dante, center from Oregon. Ashton Hagans, the point guard from Kentucky. CBS Sports is totally different except for the one constant name in Elijah Hughes at that same number at 36. So there might be something going on there. Theo Maledon, the point guard from France. Cassius Stanley, the shooting guard from Duke. Again, Elijah Hughes, the small forward from Syracuse. Killian Tilly, the small forward from Gonzaga. and Jay Scrubb, small forward from Louisville. NBC Sports, Tyrell Terry, point guard from Stanford. Tyshawn Alexander, shooting guard from Creighton. Tyler Bay, power forward from Colorado. Jay Scrubb, shooting guard, small forward, the JUCO transfer. And Sam Merrill, the 6'5 shooting guard from Utah State. Draft.net, and I didn't get the number 58 pick from them, but I have the first four. This is where I saw it. Cole Anthony, the 6'3 point guard from North Carolina. Devin Dotson, the 6'1 point guard from Kansas. Elijah Hughes, again, 6'6 shooting guard from Syracuse. And Jordan Nwora, 6'7 small forward from Louisville. So, I also saw a rumor yesterday that there could possibly have been a promise to a player by the Sixers that he would get drafted somewhere. And I don't remember the name, so the name just escapes me right now. But like I said, we'll see what happens in the draft. But again, there are some names that have appeared in multiple mock drafts. Like I said, Tyrell Terry's name has recently started to come up. I think I had him in 3. The most consistent is Elijah Hughes, the small forward from Syracuse. There has to be something that they really, really like, because I'm looking again and he's in 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 7 mock drafts that I just talked to you about. Tyrell Terry's in about 3 of them. Desmond Bane is in 2. So I think the Sixers have a plan. I think they have some ideas of where they want to go. And if this means anything to you, you know, Elijah Hughes, I'm liking that as a second round, which may be a keeper. He may come in and be a young player who they think that they can do some things with, like they did with Matisse Thybulle in last year's draft. Also, I hope that the Sixers are cautious if they make any trades, if they make any moves, because I don't want them to eventually give up some young talent. And Matisse Thybulle's name has been coming up in some trades. And we saw what happened last year when they made the trade, and they ended up having to move Landry Shamet, who played pretty well for the Sixers for the short time that he was here. So I hope that they don't have to go through that again and incorporate Matisse Thybulle in a deal. I hope that things can go well for them as far as the picks, because it looks like, from what I'm seeing, the first 4 picks are right now all over the place. And again, those are lottery picks. So there could be some more moves, some trades and things that go on tonight. Like I mentioned also that the Minnesota Timberwolves, holding the number 1 overall pick, are uncertain of how they want to utilize that pick, whether they keep it and make a pick or whether they use it in a trade. So we'll definitely see what goes on. Initially, there was a lot of talk of James Wiseman going first in the draft, but then more recently, there's been a lot of talk of LaMelo Ball going anywhere from 1 to 3 in this year's draft. So we will definitely keep our eyes and our ears to the street and find out what goes on with those picks. Today, folks, that concludes your SportsRap NBA Draft 2020 preview show. I wish you all the luck. I hope that your team picks the player that you expect them to pick. I hope that they pick the players or some players that can help your team. I am really looking forward to how the Sixers maneuver with the 5 picks that they have. I am not expecting, but I'm hoping that they can spark a deal and do some things to free up some money, some cap space to do some things in free agency when that begins. Because like I said, I know they have their eyes on some free agents, and there's been a lot of increasing talk about DJ Augustin, who I think could be a very good backup point guard on this team, along with him being able to play in the pick and roll, his scoring ability on the wing, his ability to create his own shot, which is something that the Sixers have not had as far as in a wing player in several years. I also hope that there's a way that they can maneuver something and possibly seriously talk to Alec Burks and bring him back, because he showed his worth to the Sixers organization when he played in the playoffs and during the latter and the tail end of the past season. With that being said, folks, I'm going to wrap up here. 12:28, 28 minutes past the noontime hour. It's a little brisk outside. Be careful. We are still in the pandemic. The city of Philadelphia, where I live, where we are broadcasting from right now, is going into our restrictions on Friday, November the 20th, and they will last until January the 1st. So, folks, be safe, adhere to the CDC guidelines, and we can all in hopes that we can all get through this safe. Wishing you all the best. So, stay safe, bundle up. It's a little chilly outside, and as always, be great on purpose. It's your boy D, signing out. See you on Monday when we come back. And like I said, I'll have a brief update for you as much as I can tomorrow and Friday, mostly tomorrow on the NBA draft. And then we'll do an in-depth recap on Monday of the entire draft and what happened with our Philadelphia 76ers. It's your boy D, signing out. Before I go, you know where to find me at SportsRap_D on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook, the group page, SportsRap Podcast. You can catch the recordings of the podcast on iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. You can also check out YouTube, SportsRap TV. There's videos there now. There will be more videos going up later this week. And you can finally check out the website. I've uploaded some new pictures up there. I'm still working on getting some other things up. SportsRapRadio.com. And you can get me every here. You can get me every Monday here. Heat 100 Radio, Philadelphia, the station that keeps it 100, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. each and every Monday. It's your boy D signing out. Again, be great on purpose. Enjoy the day. Get through hump day and get through the remainder of the week and push on. Remember, NBA draft tonight. All the festivities start at 7 p.m. The actual draft begins at 8 on ESPN. Enjoy, folks. Have a great day.